Welcome to Theater Talk. I am Jerome Scott Smith, and today's episode is called Actors and Directors. Let's get to it. In today's episode, we dive into actors and directors. What do actors want from directors? And what do directors want from actors? And a special question we ask is all about the jazz actor's technique. So join me today as we do some theater talk. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Theater Talk. Here we are, we got the whole gang back together again. And we got DL, we got Toney Cobb, we got Shantell, and we got my boy, the bike rider, the tennis player, J-Rob. Also, new to our cohort is Sharalyn, one of our dear friends today for today's topic. So Sharalyn, just what have you been up to these days?
Well, like everybody else, I've been kind of stuck in the house, but still carrying on business. I'm the artistic director over at the Heritage Ensemble Theater Company, and we are moving ahead with plans for our I guess 21-22 season now. So we're working hard on that. We just are announcing our board members. So, I mean, there's still a lot to do.
Yeah.
From pandemic land.
So is this your first year as artistic director?
Yeah. I came on in October as artistic director.
That is awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Yes. All right. And we all know Sharalyn from our jazz actor days and a lot of theater, around town. So welcome. And we are so happy to have you. Okay. All right, let's get it started. Today we call this segment Actors and Directors. All right. So whether you want to answer from the point of an actor or a director, because most of you have been in those seats, here's the time to do that, okay? So we're gonna go to our first question of the day. What are the three most important things that an actor needs from a director? And also, what are the three most important things that a director needs from an actor? So, without further ado.
I've been thinking about this, and as an actor, I think the three things that I would want from a director is the freedom to create without judgment, guidance, and a good eye for what is working and what is not working, and the ability to paint a stunning picture.
I like that. Those are good.
Now, as a director, from an actor, I want a willingness to explore alternative scenarios, an open mind to suggestions, and the commitment to do the lion's share of the work outside of rehearsal, which is the objectives, the character, and memorization of the lines.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Sharalyn. All right. Shantell.
No. Where the boys go?
Your voice is going in and out. Your voice is going in and out.
My voice is going in and out?
But now I hear you fine. I hear you fine now.
Yeah.
A moment ago when you moved your lips, I didn't hear you.
So if you come in really hot, you're gonna be out.
Yeah.
Am I in now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. Then that means DL goes next.
No, by all means, after you.
No, go DL.
I don't appreciate the drafting situation, but attempt to go. It's kind of odd because with this particular group, I've been in both situations.
Yes.
I've been a fellow actor, and I think I've directed everyone except Jerome. And I'm working on that. I would probably just echo a lot of what Sharalyn said. So as a director, I think one of the key jobs, at least, is to remove obstacles that inhibit creativity and the openness of the space, right? If we, I also think that the director should also have this this very purposeful eye to create a full picture without. And I will add one thing that I don't think that the director needs is a staunch idea on a militaristic side that it must be this way and it must happen like this, because that squashes creativity. Again, actors, of course, should be prepared when they arrive. But as an actor, I like the ability to have the latitude to go out as far as I can with something, with the understanding that the director's going to reel it back in, not for me, but the entire picture, right? I also think that my co-actors, my fellow actors and cast members, ensemble players, if you will, should be working towards the same thing, trying to create this more detailed, vivid picture that this person wrote, and bring it not just to life but past it. Right? We're going to transcend this mother.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Details.
Yeah, details. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. That's all. That's good. That's good. Good stuff, guys. All right, next.
Diva.
You ready for me again? See, the thing is, y'all want all the good answers from the females. That's what
No. Wait a minute, you can go last. You used it when we first started.
Drop the bomb, baby.
You insisted on going first.
All the intelligence, because me and Sharalyn just want to give you all the good answers, okay?
All right, you wait till last. Tony, you want me to go or you want to
go? You go ahead, brother.
Because
you go first, bro.
Says he just wanted to ride off of Sharalyn and all the great answers. Directors, first of all, need to know that they have space to create, first of all. You gotta have somewhere to have your show. And you need to make sure that you have an audience to, first of all, give your show to. Because once you have a show, you got all these actors, you get yourself together, now you ready to present your stuff, and you ain't got no daggone audience because you don't have a publicity crew to present your stuff. Amen, hallelujah, and that's the stuff you need.
All right.
I knew you were
Amen.
for a reason.
Amen.
Where we got actors trying to take on too many roles. We got the actor that's the director. We got the actor that's putting together the set. We got the actor that's putting together the costume. And now we got the actor that's
that's my resume you read.
I know, right? wait, that's our theater right there.
That's the business model, isn't it?
Right.
No, seriously.
Another way to do it?
Right.
Okay, so we need directors that actually get financial support. We need directors that have the ability. Did I go over my 3?
No, you're good. Go
I
ahead.
probably did. It's all right. We need directors that have the ability to say, you know what? I'm gonna think outside the box because the box didn't already left. You know what? You know. I think we need directors to think in the circle. You know what I'm saying? Forget about the box. You know, we just in a circle right now.
Think in a circle. Like that.
We in a circle. We just in a circle.
This is the second time that you came up with like a really, really great quote.
You know what I'm saying? DL, I be dropping the box. We dropping it. Sharalyn, welcome. You know what I'm saying? The females, we drop the knowledge. We drop the knowledge.
That's right.
Now
Yeah, did you drop the rest of that bottle off? But look, okay, are you finished with that soliloquy? Or?
No, I'm not. I didn't get to
Well, we got 10 minutes.
Go ahead.
You got 10 minutes, Shantell.
Why did you give her 10 minutes? What's that?
No, in this segment, we got 10 more minutes.
I know.
In this segment.
My geniusness. So my actors have to be supported financially. They need to be supported spiritually. A lot of times they get crushed. They get crushed on a spiritual level. You know, they just need to be brought up. Man, if you can't at least financially support me on a spiritual level. Let me know that what I'm doing is worth it. You know, be there for me. Teach me how to be a friend. Continue to support me as an individual. Bring me in the group and show me connection. You know, that is what an actor needs. An actor needs to understand family. An actor also needs to understand spacing and timing. An actor needs to understand also the ability to create life within work. Not only honoring the work, but creating life within that work.
Right?
Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I think I did.
All right. Life. That's good. That's good.
I'll write that down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, J-Ron.
I have not directed other than giving some contributions from time to time, but from an actor's perspective, as I've said before, my training ground was the ensemble work under Ernie McClintock of Jazz Actors Theater, and it was often said that you're gonna be ruined.
Yeah.
And I never really understood what that meant until I had to go into other spaces and work with other directors, because my whole understanding of what my responsibility is as an actor is to bring as much to the table as I can. And in most venues, they start staging the very first rehearsal. And that was very counterintuitive to what I understood as an actor, because we really haven't figured out who we are yet in this space. And so as an actor, I just want as much flexibility to bring as much as I can. And without question, I do understand in a professional theater, you know, the time is limited. In ensemble, not only were we working on productions, but we were simultaneously taking class and learning the craft as well. So I realized that you have a limited amount of time, you know, and that's why I really try to get my lines down, you know, very early in the process. So that's out of the way, and I can, as quickly as I can, try to bring something to the table of what I see. And oftentimes, I'll be honest with you, it's, you know, you know, all kinds of, I don't want to, barriers are thrown up, because it doesn't see, even when I've worked in situations where there are other Black directors, it seems to be different from what most people's experience is. And so I just like flexibility. I like openness as much as possible within the time frames that they have. And then after that, you know, I just try to give them what they want, you know, and just do my work as much as I can ahead of time to be prepared as much as I can for the rehearsals. And that's pretty much, you know, I don't know if that really is broken down to 3 categories, but I just like a open playing field. Many years ago, and I think DL, you may have been there, and Jerome, you may have been. I'm not sure, but we saw an incredible theater company that did Shakespeare at the University of Richmond, and they dressed in all black. They had a blank stage. They had chairs at the four corners, and they had a delineated square or rectangle on the stage.
Masking
No
tape.
costumes.
I remember that.
Okay, no costumes or anything. And so in that context, you got to bring everything you can, because it ain't nothing there but you. And there was one scene I remember in particular, and this was early in my experience, but it still resonated with me tremendously. One actor came in and played two characters at the same time.
Yes.
And so my experience is to bring as much as you can as an actor so that you create this piece that can't be replicated. And that's what jazz is. Even if we played the same song every night, we're performing it with nuances and creativity that, you know.
Hey, brother, you getting into the second part now. Hang on now.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, no, save it. That's important.
What did I get into? What was the second question, so I can be clear?
No, it's about the jazz acting.
Yeah.
I see. Well, but that's my experience.
Gotcha.
And that's part of the problem, is that I don't, I don't know if it's a problem, but the bane of my existence is that I don't know how these other directors, and, you know, I don't know no Stanislavski or Chekhov, these other, and I really, I shouldn't say that entirely. I have investigated a little bit on the back end, but prior to me coming into this industry, I didn't have any exposure to those things. So, my whole thing is if I'm not creating, then I'm not doing my job.
Right.
Shout out to Uta Hagen and Sanford Meisner.
There you go. Yeah.
Shout out.
Good. Well said, sir. All right, Toney. I mean, I have something to say too. I mean, you can. I don't want to always be last. That's what I'm saying.
Well, mine is really quick.
Okay.
So I'll leave you the bulk of the time, Jerome.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, mine is very quick. Pretty much echoing what everyone said, but I did have some specific things that are going to kind of overlap. As an actor, the three things I need from a director are vision and concept, notes. I'm going to keep it simple. I need notes from a director, and structure. And I think I talked about this in the first episode, that for me, one of the things that I like about theater, or kind of really drew me in, was I realized it was, you know, it has a structure to it. And I'm a structured type of individual at times. Even though I have a very, very strong creative side, I have this very, very strong kind of structure side as well. So I need those three things. I don't want to go into production and the director has no plan or really has no control over the rehearsal. And last but not least, as a director, because I had the luxury of doing both, and the three things I need from my actors, and Sharalyn touched with this at the beginning, is professionalism. Learn your lines, do your homework, come on time, all those kind of things. The creative spirit, which I think everyone has kind of touched on. And last but not least, I need my actors to have a desire. They have a love for the art, for what they're doing, a love for the craft. Not just, you know, oh man, I'm so tired from work. And we all get that way.
Yeah.
Step in that rehearsal space, you know, let your love for your craft take over and try to overcome the other things you're dealing with in the outside world. So I know it's difficult to do at times because we're only human. But if my actors can really exhibit that consistently during the rehearsal process, I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's deep.
That's
Tony.
good. That's good. Yeah.
That's deep, Tony.
I love that. Yeah.
Trying to be like you, Shantell.
Well, guys, I'm going to just talk from a director's point of view, okay? I haven't acted in such a long time. And that's not by choice, but kind of there was a need, I guess, you know? And I just felt myself there. But I know that for me as a director, number one, the first and foremost is I need to be able to trust my actors. What I like to do, and we did this was beautiful when I work with on Jitney. We just sat down individually at a restaurant and talked to talk about the vision, so I can understand where they were coming from, so they can understand where I was coming from. You know, the casting process, you try to get that kind of the people you want to work with. You know, because you got even the talented people you see. You know, there's not always a good fit. You know, for you as that director for that person. They don't get you, you don't get them, you know. So you have to be able to trust. I think that's the big thing. Trust them. Can I trust them with my vision? Can I trust them with what they have to do? Can I trust them to fall with me, you know? Because we're going to take a big step and it might be uncomfortable and we might fall and we have to get up, you know? So can I have a person who will trust that process, you know? Number 2 for me is hunger. And I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna tell you about a situation I had with some students when I was teaching. I was working with a group of students from in Richmond, had never had any acting experience at all, but they were hungry. What we did with that hunger, we turned them into award-winning students who won competitions. You know, high school theater can be, you know, you got people who I've done this since, you know, I was in 5th grade. These kids had nothing but hunger. And that hunger took them a long way. As a matter of fact, I had an opportunity to teach at another school. And I looked at the school, I looked at the population, and I said, there's no hunger here. I don't see hunger. I see people who might think they know more than me, you know? So I didn't take the job. Next year, I used those hungry students and we went to Scotland, you know? So hunger for me is big. Even if you're a professional, like y'all have been saying, you know, if you're too full, what can I do for you? You know, you might be telling me what I need to do, you know. So hunger is a good thing, because as a director, I'm hungry. I want to know more and more and more. And so come on me on this journey, you know. The last thing is a artistic work ethic, you know. And y'all have all said the same thing. Some people call it technique, you know. If you're working with a group of people who have that technique, that's a great thing, you know. And I've been in both areas where I have worked with students who they don't have the technique, but they have a work ethic, and that ethic helps us to get everything that we need, you know, for the show. So that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Yeah. All right, guys. Word. All right. Now let's do the next question.
Looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
Because between yourself, DL, J-Ron, and Sharalyn, I'm going to learn something tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I really think that you could actually teach something tonight.
Yeah. So the question, again, I'll pose this for you guys. What's the difference between acting in a jazz actor's production versus a non-actor's production? What's the difference? So let's talk about that. Let's really get this.
My bad.
You see why I stopped you, J-Ron?
What's that?
Why don't you start, J-Ron, with what you
I think I pretty much already covered that.
No, continue on, brother. I want
Well, it was kind of interesting. It was interesting. Okay, Diva. It was
you got the juice there. I got the juice.
Go ahead, J-Ron.
I'm trying. It was interesting hearing some of Toney's comments, because see, that's kind of foreign to me. I can't imagine going into any artistic work and not being, I've not really worked that I can remember with a lethargic actor. That, I mean, it's like, well, why the hell would they be there? You know what I'm saying? I mean, to me, the craft in of itself is exciting. I don't. That's kind of foreign in my mind. But having said that, I do. When I've gone into these other professional theaters after Ernie's transition, and that ensemble was no longer there. Everybody does come in a little more structured, and I guess I'm comfortable not having structure, if that makes any sense. I don't mean operationally, I mean artistically.
Artistically,
I like the fact that there's a blank canvas, and come on in here with your paint and let's just start slinging. And that, to me, that's the exciting part. And so one of my experiences, to give you a specific example, and I think he's a wonderful man, and he knows the industry. He's a good director, for lack of a better description. But this guy DL, when I was in my first musical many years ago, Guys and Dolls, I'll never forget that first rehearsal where we were on our feet, and I went to go move somewhere, and he said, whoa, wait. And so, and then we started up again, and then I did it again. He's like, hold on a second. And then it took me a few rehearsals to realize that the whole movement was already orchestrated, that I had no involvement in that process. And so I had to really put on my thinking cap and figure out how to do the work that I need to do within that. And so it's that's the biggest difference in my experience and how I was trained and learned the craft in working in professional houses. Many times the directors already have a template of movement, and they want you to work within that. And that's very disconcerting to me, but I've learned to keep my mouth shut and the frown off my face and just do what I got to do.
Yeah. That's a real thing, right?
Yeah.
We've all been in those situations.
Ooh.
I've got stories, people. I've got stories.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I was looking forward to.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dawn.
Yeah.
No, Shantell, after you, dear.
I'm going to keep it short. I'm just going to be quiet, man.
Good. We only have 18 minutes.
Okay. I'm just going to speak as the actor's point of view. When you're acting with a crew that is not used to working as a jazz actor's style, and they're I would say that type of crew, they're waiting for every ounce of direction.
Exactly.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They're waiting for you to say left, right, in, out, over, under. They're waiting for you to do everything. I remember coming into a rehearsal, and I grabbed the script and I took over, and I scared the actors. I scared to act the actors in a way. Now, mind you, the actors had been rehearsing for 3 months. I took the script and they thought I had memorized it.
Okay.
All I did was take it and just use the style. I opened up. I was alive in the scene, and I scared the actors half to death. I didn't have direction of left, right, in, and out. The director stood back and was cracking up. He didn't tell me left or right or nothing. He was cracking up. He couldn't believe it, first of all, to watch the actors, see them react in a space with me. And the actors were scared. The guy that was my opposite was like, dude, she just touched me. He was supposed to be my man. And I touched him, and he was upset with that. I was supposed to be his fiance, and he was upset that I touched him. So
The brother
y'all
was
laughing. I'm
testing
just
the
saying.
familiarity of the relationship.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That is the difference between, you know, working in that type of space. They had been working nonstop for 3 months. The director had been working with them left, right, in and out. These are your lines. These people were off book. That's the difference. You come in with a harmony already. I come in with life.
Yes, with life.
With life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that says it all right there.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
scared to death.
so
That's it. I'm in. I'm done.
Scaring me now.
But that's it. That's it. Yeah, and here I want to, Toney, for you, just so you understand, there is, you know, it looks like it's chaos. It looks like there's no structure. However, there's these things called objective statements that must be followed. We don't know what those are. And see, that's the thing. We don't know what they are for a long time.
Yeah.
We have to find what our objective is. We have to find out what our fourth word is, right? That verb. Yeah. You know, and it takes a long time. And we're just playing around until we get that. Then once we find that, we kind of set things, you know, but it's a process. There's a word that Bernie always uses, process. There's a process that goes here. And there's a trust you have with the other actors. Your director kind of is an overseer in this situation.
Oh, no.
Wrong word.
Oh, no.
I have seen Ernie look at us, and we are looking, and we keep on going. He doesn't stop. He doesn't stop us. And then he'll ask a simple question. And that makes us, because we know, and he knows, okay, it's not there yet. You need that time to really let things gel, you know? And that is where the structure is. Yeah. We are held responsible for this whole body of fourth words, that verb. And once we get this body of these words, then we connect all the dots, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
The thing is, once you have that verb and you understand how it works, there's latitude to move within that verb. Yeah, you know? Yeah. And this latitude. And see, now here's the thing. This is what scares the non-jazz actor people. Well, I have to like you. I have to get a light cue here. I have a sound cue here. No, you're not. No, what are you doing? No. What you took my costume and why did you take it off? What are you doing? Right? The jazz actor now, and this is why we have people who we love to work with, like a Gino, like a Ron Walker, because they understood in that space we're creating, they're watching us create, and then they help us to facilitate what we're creating, you know? Yeah. And that's the difference, because nothing is pre-packaged. Mm-hmm. You have a pre-packaged show.
That's exactly.
It's like you're reading this. It's the difference. It's like jazz music is so fluid, but you have the orchestra that's already been written. You have to hit that note, that cantata right there. That, you know, this is nothing like that, and it scares people. Yeah. Because they cannot exist in that environment because it's foreign. They think that you don't know what we're doing. What are you doing? This is not this is, you know, like Peter Brook was someone who we talked about, and he had these wonderful actors, and he let them have this latitude. And sometimes people would in professional actors be like, "Are you all trained?" You know, and these are trained actors who would just take this concept and run with it, right? So that's that, you know.
One exercise Ernie gave us a long time ago, and I always remember once I listened to them, it was a really eye-opening awareness from it, is that he said, listen to Handel's Messiah, and then listen to, I think it's Quincy Jones. I may be wrong, but there's a black version.
Yes.
Yeah. And that will give you, it's an analogy of, the structure, but then how you can take the structure and dance all around it and in between it. And that's what, so that's something that.
When I taught acting, one of the first things I would do is I would play a few of my favorite things.
Okay.
From the famous movie
Sound of Music, yeah.
The Sound of Music.
Yeah.
Raindrops and roses and whiskers on kittens.
And Luther
I'd play that, and everybody's familiar with it, and it's wonderful. And then I'd play the very same song by Bird.
John Coltrane.
Oh,
Coltrane.
Oh, Coltrane. Either one. Yes.
Coltrane.
Yeah.
And
that's
it's all over the place.
Yeah. That's the perfect example of what I'm talking about.
That's exactly, because I need to isolate the difference between and this I'm going to tie in with what Jerome said. There is nothing wrong with McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful business model. You are guaranteed to get French fries if you order French fries. Them fries going to taste like the French fries you had last time.
Right.
You can depend on that.
Right.
But if you serve a Michelin star boutique restaurant menu, and we're not going to tell you what's on the menu, you show up, we're going to serve, it's going to be good, but it's going to be like nothing you've ever seen before. And if you go to McDonald's the next night, you're going to get them same fries. But if you come to this boutique restaurant, it looks like the same thing, but it's different. Mm-hmm. It tastes different. It's even better than the night before. And you might see something different that you didn't see before. That's the difference, in my opinion, between jazz acting and, I guess, common layman's acting. A lot of people, let me take that back. A lot of actors are dependent on structure.
Yeah.
It's very important, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But structure is actually the antithesis of jazz acting. We start with an open field. Like Jay Ron said, there's this giant canvas, and you just bring your paint.
Yeah.
And that's the fun of it. That's the fun of it to me.
Right.
And I trust that everyone else is going to do it. Now, I will say that I have been spoiled, like Ernie said. I worked with a group of actors where I had an expectation that everyone did this.
There have been times where, you go run into the front with your rifle and you look back and you be like,
how come
y'all coming? What are we doing here?
He clearly said, let's go. So we should go.
Right.
As opposed to waiting until there's a cue.
Right.
There's another thing that's an issue with ordinary. I'll just say, as Ernie made the word ordinary profane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He made the word ordinary.
Oh.
An ordinary actor needs things like blocking.
Exactly.
Right.
And the jazz actor feels confined and, a little boxed in and blocking.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel this way today. I don't well, Shantell didn't say it that way last night. So
oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. One night we go to rehearsal, DL is there, and Ernie said, would you like to go to see a play? And we were like, sure. So we ride in the pouring down rain to, I believe it was Virginia Beach, Norfolk.
Norfolk.
We get there. It's a show called The Island, and it's in a art gallery, very small, intimate space. We're late. The show has already started. So we ease in like church mice, get into our seats, and within 3 minutes, Ernie, who's sitting next to me, goes, "Oh," and I immediately, I'm like, "Oh my God," because you know the actors are less than 15, maybe 10 feet away from us, so they can hear. And so I was like, "Oh my God!" And so a couple seconds later, "Oh," and so I'm starting to feel some kind of way because as an actor, I don't want nobody doing that when I'm on stage. So when he starts toward the third expression, I ease to go and move away from him, and he reaches out and grabs me.
Like, no, you're gonna sit in
he
this.
couldn't stand nothing that was ordinary. If any of us can just go out. I have said many times, some of this stuff is so, August Wilson's work. We can go out and just put a goddamn table on the stage and all sit there and read it, and people will like it. It's good shit. So we have a responsibility to bring something to the table, and not just learn the goddamn lines. You gotta bring something. You gotta make that a Hardman or a Troy Maxon that ain't nobody ever seen before.
There you go.
One of the things that really blew my mind when I was taking classes was the fact that you open a play and it has these stage directions. So and so moves to the window.
Wilson's work. We can go out and just put a goddamn table on the stage and all sit there and read it, and people will like it. It's good shit. So we have a responsibility to bring something to the table, and not just learn the goddamn lines. You gotta bring something. You gotta make that a Hardman or a Troy Maxon that ain't nobody ever seen before.
There you go.
One of the things that really blew my mind when I was taking classes was the fact that, you open a play and it has these stage directions. So-and-so moves to the window because, his next line is, "Oh, here she comes down the street." And they give you a line, "Move on this line." Ernie said, "Throw all that away."
Yeah, he sure did.
Just get to the window when you need to be at the window. And the things, the freedom that gives you, you don't have to watch that block, because that blocking just came out of somebody else's rehearsal.
Yes.
It's original stage manager's notes, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So what are we creating, right?
I have forced myself to go ahead and digest that. I used to never look at it. And so I'd be like, when somebody would say something later, I'm like, "Oh, that's why they said that." But because sometimes there can be some value in there, but that shouldn't be your original notion,
Another
and
thing.
The hardest thing for me was activities, because they'll give you, so-and-so is sewing on the couch. And Ern's like, go peel potatoes in the kitchen. Like, okay, but then now you got to think of stuff to do. It's like, I don't even do that much stuff. So you have to really be creative in doing what that character would do. And you have to do the character in order to create that.
Yeah, and then when you develop those types of things, then you can live in the moment. There was a moment, and I just thought about Randy Strotterman, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
He was at a production that Keith and I were in a piece. It's a 2-actor piece called The Past is the Past. And in the play, as an activity, Keith and I decided to drink beer. We were playing pool at a pool hall. And when I opened the whatever it was we were using for beer, it fizzed all over the place. And so the shit spilled on the floor. So within what I was doing, I kept on talking. I took my handkerchief out. I was wiping up the floor. And Randy Strotterman about had a heart attack in the audience. He was so pleased that kind of engagement was still in the show, and it didn't derail the scene.
Details.
There it is.
Yeah. So
we keep saying that we need to finish the sentence. Keep saying that we need to finish the sentence.
Oh, okay. Must be what is it? Run about those stages in all facets and arrays,
and all kind of
details,
images.
And also
images.
Explicit images.
Explicit images.
Explicit.
To be marching around those stages.
I'm having a senior moment, but
in all
I
sorts
wanted
of
to also
images,
say,
something to that effect. Yeah.
I wanted to also say that, like you were talking about activities, Sharalyn. Two things. One, Ernie imparted something in me that when you, as an actor, are coming to a production, you should start from a place of ignorance. And what I mean by that is not a negative thing.
Right.
It's, let's say, like Fences. We've all read it, we've been in it, maybe a couple of times. But when we are asked to be in it, again, you have to come from a place of ignorance, because you're not there to redo that play that you did before. You are there to create something new with these new people together. So you have to have that freedom to take everything off and be seated in the moment that you're in right now. Yeah. And you can't do that if you got all of this, all of these things you're carrying. Put all that down. And I've been accused of being like of doing too much as an actor all the time. But the reason for it is, if Ernie told me, do what you want, I did everything.
Yeah, but that's
not some of it.
Supposed to do
it was ridiculous. Yeah. Because I trusted that it was going to be shaved back. Now, when I've done that before in other places, I get the Shantell moment where everybody's like,
right, yeah.
I remember one of the first plays I did with my good friend, the super talented Chuck Mike at U of R. And it was Home.
Oh, yes.
Williams.
Yes.
And it was a wonderful experience. But I had like a monologue. And you know how you get to the point in rehearsal and you got to the point where my parts were bartered. Like everyone else is like, I want you to be here and try to do this and emote in this direction, all that. You go, okay, DL, we're gonna go over the monologue. Let me see what you got. And I go, wonderful, I'm gonna show you something. But it was, it's more like, I'm not a sponge that's dormant and waiting as an actor to be told what to do and to show how to reflect the light. I'm actually gonna give you, the director, more than you were expecting so that you can further create your vision. And if this is within your vision, great. If not, then I know not to do that, but I'm gonna give you something else, and I'm gonna keep going at it and I will challenge you. I think that's our job. And as we're seated in these activities, when I'm not talking, I have to fill my space to support my actor, not draw focus. But yeah, I'm gonna peel the fuck out of some potatoes at the kitchen table. But I'm gonna do it within my character. My fourth word is gonna be in what I'm doing without the words. So that if anybody looks at any angle on the stage at any moment, it's filled with something that is telling you more information about what's going on.
Yeah. And that's something that you said right there that's been one of my biggest challenges in the professional theater experiences.
Yeah.
And that is this whole concept of upstaging, which I really didn't, there was never a concern in an ensemble work because all of us were dribbling our own basketballs and just shooting hoops. And so
J-Ron, if you were doing nothing, you get yelled at.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Stop. What are you doing?
That's
an exact quote.
What is wrong with your arm?
Yeah.
I'm not speaking.
Or this one. Boring.
Yes. Why are you so ordinary?
I just didn't understand, but now, and that's a very real thing. That can cause some, because you do these productions and they bring in some, well-known actor from another venue, and that can cause quite a stir. And so that's something I've really had to learn to.
I think that's the difference between the jazz actors and the non-jazz actors. I mean, you could just compare. I saw some work from University of Richmond or just, you know, or more university style, or more, academia style, and compared to, you know, a jazz actor style where, you know, I'm academic based as well as having the jazz actor style too. In comparison to both styles, we have more freedom to use academic plus life-based style. And when you use both of those freedoms together, you create a true jazz actor style. When you see an academic style, I literally saw in the background this.
That's the style. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm thinking.
And
right
that
now.
was part of the set. Now, that could not exist in one of our shows because that does not represent life, but yet that represented part of their set. That's the difference.
Well, just as a disclaimer, the structure I was referring to was more operational. Like have a schedule. Are we going to rehearse from 7 to 9? Not like we come in at 7 and leave whenever. Artistically, of course, I want to share this real quick so Sharalyn can wrap it up for us. What's really cool is when you have jazz actors within a non-jazz actor production. For example, Oedipus, a gospel myth, my favorite scene was when I reappeared, confronted Oedipus, and J-Ron comes on stage. Myself, DL, and J-Ron, that was always my favorite scene because in my memory, we did that thing different every night.
Yeah.
We did.
Let me give you one more anecdote. Just kind of to wrap things up, and I know Sharalyn, you can say some things. This play we've all seen. We saw the version of it. We're talking about this piano lesson. All right. One thing that I learned that I did from this process, I thought, why? I'm coming from Mississippi as Boy Bully, and coming in now. I'm gonna talk about activity and objective. So my first goal in here is I gotta impress my sister, right? So because I want to get this piano from her, right? So I come in the door with the objective. I come in, I have a watermelon from the truck on stage. Why wouldn't, you know, that's something that a jazz actor would do, right? Take everything. So I came in and I told Ernie I need a watermelon. And he said, okay. And we got a watermelon. And then I needed a ribbon. So this whole first scene before my sister comes in, I have a watermelon and a ribbon, and I'm tying that thing up while I'm doing all this conversation. When she comes down the steps, I present her with bowled up watermelon to get her good graces so I can get this piano, right? That is the objective, and that is the objective and activity all rolled into one, right?
Yeah.
And that's what the jazz actor does. I can guarantee that a lot of directors would say, what are you doing? A watermelon on the stage? It doesn't say that in the script.
Yeah, why that's ridiculous.
Right. But to me, it made all the sense in the world, and I had to give this objective that I was living with for that entire time, right? Yeah. And of course, the great thing is we use that watermelon later on in the scene, in the play, right? And cut it up and use all, we use all that,
So the watermelon had a story arc.
Right, exactly.
I remember I can see it in my mind, one of those rehearsals vividly, because I played Avery in that production.
Yes.
And I felt he was putting so much pressure on the room. I was ready to pee on myself, standing in the wings. I remember one time he was standing up on a table with a hammer in one hand and some wood in the other hand.
Yes.
And he had this damn stocking cap on his head because he was practicing spray painting it for the production. Oh
Right.
man, it was crazy. And one of those rehearsals, one of the kids was so frightened that Ernie that she started screaming. They probably could hear her all throughout the Caroline. And it was this moment where you saw Ernie hugging this little girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
One of the few times I've ever seen him show a sensitive side.
That was my last day, not my last day as an actor. No.
That was what did it. That's what did it.
Yeah, right. That's why I started directing.
Well, I would like to add one thing, Jerome.
Yeah.
Like those activities and that objective. There's another part of it that I've noticed that others don't do as well, and that's the follow through.
Yes.
Oh, baby.
Yes.
So, like, if you come in with this strong objective, all this energy, the audience also needs the payoff, right?
That's right. Yep.
So that objective has to end in three ways.
Three ways. That's right.
One
Yes.
of three ways.
Yes.
Either you get what you get.
Yep.
Get what you was after, and we need to see you celebrate and enjoy that.
Yep.
On some level within the realms of your character. You don't get what you want.
Right.
And you gotta, I need to see how that sits with you.
Yes.
That tells us more about, it makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or there's some kind of compromise.
Right.
And I mean, compromise is a little complex, but I need to see how that works out between you and whatever else you compromise on that. That's what pushes the story points along.
Exactly, right.
That's what builds your character, and that's what makes you interested.
Yeah.
And if you ain't doing that, then what the hell?
Right,
I mean, what
right.
the hell is
Yeah.
You just reciting lines.
Yeah.
Because and there's no such thing as a super objective there. There is the objective to objective to objective in a way that systematically makes sense to your character.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're bad, you can like do multiple things.
Right.
The real magic comes when all of these actors got these different objectives and they just run into each other.
Yeah, they're competing.
Yes.
Should be competing.
Yes.
Oh man, it's music.
Yeah,
when somebody's
it is.
doing something on one side of the stage and you're contradicting it on the other.
Yeah.
One person's hanging up clothes, the other one's taking them down. Oh man, it's beautiful.
It's awesome.
You're still doing lines, you're still doing the scene, but everybody, the audience get a little extra. They're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's why the lines are ordinary. And I'm sure all of y'all have seen extraordinary works where an actor is in something and ain't had one goddamn line and they were the most impressive actor in the scene.
Yeah.
Or you watch 2 hours or 2.5 hours of a play. One person comes on for 5 minutes, don't see a damn thing, but you're obsessed with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Where did that guy?
Yeah.
Where's that lady go?
More of that. Yeah.
I don't know who she was, but then she came in and sat down with some energy.
Yeah.
And I saw that she came from somewhere and she has some feelings about it. And it looks like she's going.
That's another big thing. When you enter that stage, you were coming from somewhere. Where was that you were coming from?
Right, where were you coming from? All right, J. Ron, I wasn't gonna do it, but I will do it right here. So if you're coming in, you need to bring some copper with you. I need to see some character. I need to see there is an objective. I need to know that there's a place. I need to know how you feel about this environment and your relationship with the
Yes.
Place, environment, all that. Yes.
I don't want you to tell me. I need to know when you sit next to this girl that y'all might have a little something going on.
There's a brother I did.
Relationship. Speak it, DL. Relationship.
Environment. Is it chilly in there?
His father's an actor. He was in Jitney with us. He goes by the stand-up comedy name is the Big Kuzo or something.
Oh yeah.
I know. Yeah,
I know.
What's his name?
Friends with him on
Facebook.
Yeah,
Mao.
Mao. That's it. Come on.
Yeah.
He said something to me, and I don't remember saying it, but it really warmed my heart. He shared with me. He said, "Man, I really appreciate when I worked with you that one time because I kept asking you about something, and I said." I kept saying, I know one of the things, he had this acting thing whenever he would deliver his lines, he would close his eyes. Now, I said to him one day, I said, man, now, if that's purposeful, you got to make it make sense why you do that. And then he kept asking me something about something. I said, well, man, and I think we were getting ready to go into rehearsal. I said, well, man, the experience I come from, we don't tell you what we're going to do. We show you.
Right.
And he really took that to heart, and I felt good about the fact that, because that's for real. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, there's an Emerson quote that says, "What you're doing speaks so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's also, it's the reality of the doing.
Yeah, the doing. Because for me, there's two stories on stage, right? The one you hear and the one you see. And the one you see is the most important one because it gives so much information. It should. Yeah. It should. And that's the difference. That's the difference.
It's been my experience where I've been in plays that people thought were like wonderful. And it was great, but I was so disappointed because there's such potential.
Yeah.
Something more, something elevated, something transcendent, so much more information, but everybody wasn't on the same page. And it's so frustrating that my wife and friends who come to see the play, they're like, the play was good, but you look like you weren't having a good time. And I was like, I wasn't, because I can't like not miss stuff because I want to start with a nice little pencil sketch. But as we go into rehearsal and get further along, I'm painting it vibrant, and then it's going to glow. And my shit's going to be brilliant, like not smart, but like super loud, and you know what I mean? I'm doing all kinds of stuff and talking to you at the same time.
But therein lies some of the conflict in these professional theaters. They want you to cookie cut that shit and give you the same shit.
Right.
And here's the thing. Let's do this, guys, because we're going to wrap it up. But I want to say this. This is good stuff, y'all. We can keep on talking, you know.
Yeah. It's your fault, Jerome.
But one thing that we all understand, that you have to understand if you're going to be a jazz actor, that final performance that you did is not the end. You should not be satisfied with that. Like you put a bow on that and say, this is it. No, it's not. But a lot of people want that. A jazz actor understands that we could have done more. It was awesome. That was great. We had great things going on. But what's more we could have done, right? Other theater is like, let's put a bow on this from the first rehearsal so we understand what the end product should look like for us.
Yeah.
Right? Hit your cues, hit your marks. Make sure you're on tune, and that's it, right?
Yeah. But sip that drink at the same place every night.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. And so that's something that the jazz actor understands. And I think that's where, when people were, who criticize people who do the jazz acting thing, well, it doesn't look like X, Y, and Z, right? Well, what did you really glean from that? What was that stage full of things going on? Activities, objectives. Were those things there? Did you see that? Was it polished? Maybe not, but they were working towards a goal, right? And every time they do the show, they get better. And then years later, you have a J. Ron, who is phenomenal right now.
You hot in these streets, Jay.
I remember,
streets, brother.
we remember, you know what I'm saying? We grow. There's growth, right? Yeah. That's not the end. That show it's not your ending point. That's a new beginning for your next show, right? And that's what the jazz actor understands, and that's what the theater world misses.
Bring your bucket and your pail and get to work.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, your bucket and your shovel.
Jerome, you remember?
As good as your next performance.
Do you remember that play that never was? That version of Fences we were going to do?
Yes. Yeah. When I got sick, yeah.
And I brought all of that junk in that art.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I was like, man, we about to get into something.
Yes. Yeah. I was excited about that thing too, man.
Remember, DL, we were going to go through all the stuff and determine what we were going to keep and we weren't going to keep.
Come on, Tony.
What y'all don't know is, in the hospital that night, I was like, I got a show I have, and I couldn't speak. I got a show I got to do, I have a show I have to do. It's Spencer. Don't you understand? It's August Wilson. And they were like, maybe next year when you can speak. And then but it was,
so that was a different production that we did, Dio?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It was, I was ready for that one. Yeah.
It was hot, bro. It was hot.
Yeah.
I adored every rehearsal.
Yeah, it was really.
I lost my favorite overalls in that show.
Oh, man.
About it.
All right, guys. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us for Theater Talk. I am Jerome, and this is the cohort. No, the Jedi Council.
Yeah.
With Sharalyn, J-Ron, and Shantell, and Toney Q. Thank y'all so very much. This has been Theater Talk, and I am Jerome Scott Smith, and thank you for joining us today. Have a great evening.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Theater Talk. If you have an idea for a topic that you would like for us to discuss on our show, please send it to theatertalkrva@gmail.com. Also, we would love to hear from you. Tell us what you think about the show. You can either send us an email at theatertalkrva@gmail.com or send us a comment during an episode on YouTube.